Thank you very much to the host for having me here. My name is Chris Butt. I'm the founder and CEO of Cognitive, and we are passionately interested in people, human performance, talent, potential, and everything that we do every day in our jobs and our lives. And I suppose it's worth pointing out that we started actually in Israel many, many years ago, partly because psychometrics, understanding people and performance and talent, given the state of the security situation in Israel, understanding people was always very prominent, and we developed our early software in Flash, in Hebrew. It was very clunky in those days, but we took that development to England Rugby, and we worked with the England Rugby team back in 2003 and looked at which players would perform poorly under pressure. So we were really fascinated about cognitive function, which players would perform in the heat of a battle in a game poorly. And obviously, given the increase in sport and marginal gains now, that is something which is very prominent. Fast forward to today. So we are really interested in broadening our understanding of intelligence and solving these problems. These problems have not changed for the best part of 100 years. How do we hire talent successfully? How do we improve productivity? How do we reduce churn? And we still use today simple measures like IQ, which is probably one of the worst predictors of professional and personal life. So we aim to solve these problems, and we aim to do it because the world is changing for these three reasons broadly. First of all, Cognitive Neuroscience, we're a company that's very interested in the brain and better understanding how the brain works and how it performs day to day. And in the last 20 years, we've had an explosion in MRI scanning, which can tell us much more about what is happening up top. So we're interested in your raw materials, the raw materials of your talent, the people that work in your business. And obviously, we can measure these things much more effectively now. We can measure them at scale. And the point around big data, we can start to look at the correlations between workforce data and people data and start to predict success going forward. Secondly, the cloud clearly has made a difference in terms of how we can scale and reach our marketplace. And similarly, tools like AI and machine learning are really giving us some predictive insights in real time for our customers globally. And thirdly, probably the most important thing, CEOs, boards are paying much more attention to their human capital. It's a global competitive marketplace, and boards finally are realizing that their number one asset are their people. And in fact, it should be this human capital on their balance sheets, not just the capital and fixed assets. So what have we done? We've built a platform that looks at 8 different performance areas. I'll come to that in a second. It allows you to analyze in real time the performance of your people in the context of their work and their behavior at work. And one of the problems that companies have is a lot of this data is siloed. It's on paper. It's in the brains of the people that you work with. It's in some systems. It's in different servers. We've pulled all of that information together in one place. So we're not just an applicant tracking system, a jobs board, a profiling, a benchmarking tool. We don't just focus on candidate selection or employee performance. We focus on the whole, people, and that interaction right through the journey. I suppose what has changed substantially from the early days of IQ and personality assessment is we can measure so much more now. And Deep Learn, which is our AI machine learning tool, can look at 8 performance areas in sync and start to predict which of those areas is significant for your talent, your potential of your people. So, from the early days in Israel around cognition and performance under pressure, to sentiment, natural language processing, facial and vocal expression, we can analyze all of this in a single platform, in 30 to 40 minutes in some cases, and provide real-time data to managers, employers, and people who are recruiting. We're not prescriptive. We don't have all the answers. The brain is highly complex. We look at 8 performance areas currently. Next year, there might be 10 or 12. So the ability to process huge amounts of data in real time through artificial intelligence and machine learning allows us to provide much more accurate predictions around who's going to leave the company, where your workforce might change in the future, and who you should hire. It's a big marketplace, as you can imagine. These are sort of conservative estimates. The one big market that we're looking to disrupt, and I'm sure all of you have been through this process, you have a CV, you sent it off to an employer. Most people look at your name, particularly in the UK, the school that you went to, and they dismiss you on that basis. And we still use the CV today. It's been around for 50, 60 years, and we are looking to disrupt a market where people are seen as a commodity, not the most important asset that you have in your business. So 40 billion US in the UK is simply what recruitment agencies charge companies, a 15% fee. And multiply that globally, it's a huge industry that we want to disrupt around the product that we've brought to market. And it's worth noting, by 2025, 260 million people will be going through higher education. All of these people are agile, multi-language, looking to move into the jobs of tomorrow. We can help them find their right job in the right company using the technology that we have. So lastly, it's very simply put, we are about democratizing human capital. We've been looking to democratize human capital for a long time now. We've built a platform that can allow that to happen. And in a couple of years' time, we hope that every job seeker, every person who is looking to find the right job for their talent and potential, the things that really shape them and how engaged they want to be, they can come to the Cognitive marketplace and we will find a job fit for them globally. Thank you very much for your attention. I know it's late in the day, but thank you.